Hey, how's everybody doing today? Hi, Maisie. So I had a minute here at the shop. And I just wanted to give a thought. I hear a lot of people talking about Hollywood and Baphomet and their God, our God. Again, you have to look at things as being energy driven. Everything is energy. Maisie's energy, I'm energy, you're energy. It's no different than the energy coming right out of the plug right here. Okay? In fact, we have what's called female and male receptacles. So, and this is going to be a hard one for people to understand. But if you think in terms of energy, just energy, do you think what comes out of this wall right here identifies itself as male or female? We do. We make these and label them. The first split, in my opinion, so to speak, that occurred in heaven was when all the planets and the stars and everything were made. I'm pretty sure that's when the separation between male and female occurred. It created two different realms, what we would refer to as heaven and hell, so to speak. They're just two different dimensions that walk in the same energetic field. So when the earth shifts, just like I can go from here to over here and change my perspective just by shifting where I'm standing, right? When the earth shifted, it's a whole nother dimension in the same space. Okay, I've been saying all along, this is a quantum thing. So when they tell you you live on a globe spinning around a sun, we know that's not true. We are the sun that those planets are spinning around, so to speak. And we have the equator, right, that divides the north and the south, the upper and lower, let's say, dimensions. And they'll tell you that the earth sits in a Goldilocks zone, not too far from the sun to be too cold, not too close to the sun to be really hot. In fact, isn't that the whole story behind Goldilocks and the Three Bears? Looking for the right amount of heat and cold. It's called balance. Van Halen did a song titled Best of Both Worlds. We hear all the time the expression when worlds collide. I'm just saying. So right now, as we pick our way through the destruction, again, this is all done consciously through Source, who we refer to as the Father who is in heaven, right? Because that was part of the initial divide, going from androgynous, which they show you in Hollywood, and everybody gets up in an uproar over that. Oh, that's it. The creator of all things created all things. And like I said, the church sitting here saying, well, people are going to get left behind and we're going here and you're going there and you're going to burn in the lake of fire and blah, blah, blah. No. We are in the lake of fire. It is what it is. This flat plane we live on currently, the remnant, consider it, like I've said before, consider it like a gyroscope. As the earth turns around us, and the sun. Even the sun, they're talking about flipping poles, and and there's already gas giants out there who have already flipped their poles. I think Uranus and Neptune are two of them. I'm not positive. I'd have to go back and look. Like I said, this is just an off-the-cuff comment based on, just stuff that I hear. And granted, it's my own opinion. The church thinks I need to be saved. It is what it is. I'm sure if I really needed to be saved, I wouldn't be given the vision of things that I'm seeing. Not that I always know what they are. But usually something happens on those dates, just not what I'm looking for, right? So it is what it is. So, and both exist here right now, and that's what everybody's doing away with right now, right? Is the extremism, and leave the kids alone, because ultimately that's what all of this is about. The children of God who got destroyed, so to speak. So it's the micro and the macro. I've been saying this for a long time in my videos. We are the children that need to be left alone. People talking about governments, and this person, and we the people, for the people, of the people, by the people. I govern myself. I don't need a government over me to tell me how to conduct things. If you go back to the Sumerian stories of Enki and Enlil, and you get into the Bible where people are talking about the third temple and all. The third temple already happened. I showed that years ago in videos when they talked about the Dark Ages and the Knights of the Round Table wearing armor. No, that was AI man. The story was changed. Okay? It was inverted. Okay? So, yes, we're in that middle body, the second temple, and from here comes the third temple, which is, hooking us up to AI, which is probably how all this is being brought back around through AI right now. I've said for a long time, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Once you see something, it can't be unseen. You can walk into a room, your eyes will register every little speck of dust and everything. It's just your ability to recall it from your memory. So all this is being done from visions, dreams, whatever you want to call it, the memories that we have. We are the Akashic records. So, that's where deja vu comes in, where you think you've done this once before. You probably have, just in a different manner, so to speak. So, it is what it is. They keep talking about the beast systems coming, and they're calling it the AI system. The beast system's here. Just do a quick Google of what a beast is. The first thing it'll tell you, it's an animal. It doesn't matter what the description is of that animal. The devil is in the details. Okay? We are all animals because we are mammals. We're part of the animal kingdom. So that is the beast system. Everything around you see is already the beast system. The rise of the beast system is the same thing as the rapture, the ascension, rise, right? To rise, to ascend, to go up. Same thing with the AI, Antichrist. When they talk about chopping up of the head. So when man, so you got to see, if you look at it from a logical, that's why we have phones and cars, because deep-rooted knowing that we can communicate telepathically, but we were cut off from each other. We had to have something to replace that, because we had that inner knowing. So it was replaced. Same thing with cars. Same thing. All of this, I've talked about this, the heads up display. It's the same thing that's in a fighter pilot's helmet. It's in a Corvette even. Corvettes carry heads up displays on their windshields. It's a micro and the macro. It's all right here, right now, same as it's ever been. That's why history repeats itself. We go through loops to clean out the garbage, take the best of both worlds, so to speak. Is what it is. So that's enough of that for today. If I think of something else, I might get back on here. And like I said, the closer we get, the harder it is when you understand we're not going to remember none of this. So we had the Pyrrha moon, we had the war kickoff, we had the flow of oil being stopped. That's, what created the blood moons. So I don't know if we're on the 3 days on the backside or if we're going to have to go to, because I talked about this a couple of years ago in a video, Pi 31415, the 14th and the 15th. Some people are saying we got to go all the way to the end of the month. Who knows? Everybody's right and everybody's wrong. It is what it is. The ones that are looking and know are looking and they know. The ones that aren't, and that's not anybody's fault. We're not here to wake anybody up. We're not. It is what it is. So just like me, I'm not here to, I just give things that I see. That's all it is. It's just a perspective from where I stand or sit or lay or whatever I'm doing, floating at the time. It doesn't matter, right? So yeah, just ride it out. The train keeps rolling. Love y'all. Bye-bye.